All right, guys, good morning. Welcome to kind of an mock online version of my class. I wanted to kind of just show you guys a few things in general and kind of practice how we're going to proceed if we were to maybe do something virtual. So I'll explain something short from your last tutorial that you guys did on Edmentum, and I'll put everything to light. Now, this is a little awkward because you're probably watching this and I'm sitting in the classroom. So just take this as something that you're practicing, and this is how I'm going to be delivering some of my lectures for you guys and helping you guys through some of the material. Now, last week we looked at science. We looked at the scientific inquiry. If you remember doing your Edmentum assignment, they talked about the methods of science. They talk about all of that stuff. And I just wanted to break it down in the most simple terms and something that you guys can understand. So what I usually do is I ask the question, what is scientific inquiry? The word inquiry is just a way of saying asking a question. It's not like some huge bogus word. It's just we're asking questions here. And that is the enterprise of science. And when I say enterprise, that is kind of like the activity of doing science. So if you ask a question and you look for an answer, you're most likely engaging in the scientific process. Example, if the light in maybe your bathroom doesn't turn on, you flick the switch and it doesn't come on, and you say, well, my light doesn't come on. I wonder why. You can start asking all these questions. Could it be that the bulb is busted? Could it be that we're not getting any power into, running through the lines that go into the bathroom? Think about it. What could the possibilities be that are stopping your light from coming on? This is the scientific process. This is scientific inquiry. Another one that I use, it's a very fun one that I use a lot every year. You can't find your cell phone. What do? Well, you start asking questions. Where was the last place I put it? Where did I go in order for me to be able to figure out, whatever it is you're asking? Where did I go last? Have I checked my jacket? It may be in the pocket of my jacket. You ask yourself the question, could it be that I left it in the car? Could it be that it fell down from my pocket while I was crossing the road and a bus ran over it? Oh no, that could be the worst case scenario, but you're asking all these questions in order for you to achieve what we call the correct answer in scientific inquiry. So I'll give you a working definition before I, set you off course to, working on your next Edmentum assignment. And that definition is the scientific inquiry. Let me write it down and then I'm going to read it out because I can't read and type at the same time. Involves asking the right, I told you, the right questions and finding, look at me, the right answers. Boom. That is the working definition that you're going to go with. I said involves asking the right questions and finding the right answers, because you can't be looking for your phone and randomly be wondering, did I leave it in the cafeteria? Well, that is the wrong question, because as we know, this year, you guys all have lunch detention with me. I'm just playing. We eat lunch in the classroom, so it makes maybe no sense to have left it in the cafeteria because you were eating lunch in a classroom that's been designated to you. So your first priority will be to actually go check that classroom. And that's what the scientific process is about. If we go back and look at your Edmentum notes, you're going to see that the process starts with making observations. The observation that we've made in this scenario is, where is your cell phone, right? Or why is the light not coming on? And then you ask a question. Could it be that my cell phone was left in the classroom where I ate lunch? Could it be that my backpack may have a leak? I don't know why your backpack would have a leak, but you never know. Sometimes they wear out, they rip, and maybe one of the mesh holes is now bigger and maybe it fell out, and you construct a hypothesis. Perhaps I'm going to go visit these areas where I feel like I left my phone. Perhaps, I need to flick the switch again. Perhaps there's a connection error. And then you test your hypothesis with an experiment. The experiment is basically you walking around looking for the very last place that you think you left your cell phone, asking questions, saying, hey, Mr. Bruce, you see my cell phone? Asking your best friends, asking the friends you had PE with. Maybe it was in your pocket during PE, which is not supposed to have been in. You should have kept it in your backpack in the locker, but you left it in your pocket, silly, and now you can't find your cell phone. And then analyzing results and concluding, and then you have a deviation. If your hypothesis is true, Now you communicate the results. If you maybe left it in a classroom you were eating lunch in, and that is actually true, you will most likely find it there in that classroom. Don't worry, make sure you put a lock code on your phone, and it should most likely be impregnable from anybody that's trying to break into it. And if it's not true, then you also say, well, I can't find it, and guess what? I'm going to repeat this process and construct another hypothesis. If it's not in the room where I had lunch, then most likely it's going to be somewhere else, and hopefully the bus has not run over my cell phone. This is the basic process of scientific inquiry. Even here they wrote it. Scientific inquiry involves questioning the natural events that occur around us. We think of answers to these questions and test them using a scientific method. Scientific method, the best way to test it is using a hypothesis. This process gives us a better understanding of the world and how it works. The diagram shown here is one approach to the scientific method. On the following blah 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 blah. They're going to do all that stuff later on. But this is one approach. There are many ways to go about it. You just make sure that you're looking carefully at all of the parameters. When I say parameters, I mean looking at all the circumstances surrounding what you're asking and pretty much trying to get the best answer that's involved. All right, that's pretty much, what I wanted to discuss with you guys. I want you now to proceed to your the other part of your assignment, which is also going to be on Edmentum. You're moving on to physical science. What is physical science? And hopefully I don't have to do one of these, in a recent order. I can maybe just, we'll just have a real conversation about those discussions in class. Well, thank you very much, and get to work.